Stakeholders in the trade industry on Tuesday had an engagement with members of the Subsidiary Legislation Committee of Parliament on their concerns regarding plans by the Minister of Trade and Industry, Katie Hammond, to lay before Parliament a legislative instrument that seeks to restrict the importation of some 22 selected strategic goods into the country. The group says it will be proper for the government to rather ban the importation of these goods than to restrict their importation.
If we have goods in abundance in this country, if we are self-sufficient, it helps the traders more than anybody can think of. Because what it means is that we are not going to pay the duties, the hustles of traveling, freight charges that we have to contend with. It does not help ourselves. But what we are saying is that whilst we are trying to achieve that self-sufficiency and all that, we have to hasten slowly and do the right things. We have to adopt right measures that will ensure that we actually have the goods. What is the threshold that qualifies a product to be restricted? Are we talking about 60% of production? We haven't been given all this information. Are we talking about 40%? When we refer Nigeria was able to hold the bull by the horn because Nigeria was about 85%. And so they just have to do this, ban it, and then straight away they were there. That's why we have called that instead of putting any impediment of trading, then whatever they want to ban, they should ban. And we know that the product is banned. But putting restrictions on us because we just want to import to shore up the shortfall of demand is uncalled for.
For us, they raise a number of issues that we will take into account when we are reporting to Parliament. One was that in terms of import substitution justification, there isn't sufficient local supply of the affected goods in order to fill the market if the restrictions take place. So, for instance, the question of how much, we are producing in terms of rice, in terms of the auto industry, in terms of the used clothing industry, so that we ourselves will be able, to supply the local, industry will be supplied with this, what do you call it, these goods if the restrictions come into force.
How soon can we expect the report on the floor of the House?
Well, we are expecting that the minister will lay the instrument if it is revised in accordance with the recommendations of the committee, probably somewhere this week, okay, or early next week. Meaning that eventually, if it is laid, we will be reporting to the House almost immediately because we have done our consideration, of the pre-laying consideration, and we have an idea of what the substantive content of the instrument is, as well as the concerns of the stakeholders, regarding the impact of the instrument.